very good evening to you. Thank you so much for tuning in to KUTV Primetime News. We have so much in store for you, but first, let's get an introduction. While this broadcast is live across all of our social media platforms, on YouTube it's KUTVNEWS Kenya, on X it's KUTV_Kenya. Mutava Mungeli is with us for the sign language interpretation. My name is Ochieng, Cynthia, sitting in for one Yvonne Kimoma. Now, several people are feared dead after a helicopter crashed today morning at Mount Ololonkwe in Samburu County. The aircraft reportedly went down in a remote, rugged area, prompting an emergency response by security officers and rescue teams. The helicopter was said to be flying from Loisaba towards Ewasonyiro when the incident occurred. Authorities have launched an operation to assess the crash site and establish the number of casualties. The cause of the crash remains unclear, as investigations are expected to begin once the site is secured. More details are awaited from the authorities. Now, away from that sad note is that the clergy in Kisii County has condemned the political violence witnessed during the Linda Mwananchi rally in Homa Bay County, warning that attacks on political gatherings, journalists and civilians threatens Kenya's democracy and could escalate ahead of the 2027 general election. Anglican Church of Kenya Archbishop Jackson Ole Sapit challenged authorities to take decisive action against perpetrators.
Clergy from the Anglican Church have raised their alarm over the growing disruption of political rallies, warning that such incidents risk heightening tensions and undermining peaceful political engagement as the country heads towards the elections. The concerns were raised during the church's annual conference at Kisii School in Kisii County. The Anglican Church is now calling for accountability over political violence, with Archbishop Jackson Ole Sapit warning that attacks on citizens at political events are shrinking the country's democratic space. Sapit has challenged the government to go after both the perpetrators and those behind them.
We want to condemn with the strongest terms what we have been seeing, disruption of rallies by either hired people or people who have sent themselves. We are in a democracy where our democratic right is that we are free to associate, we have freedom to interact, freedom of conscience and freedom of speech. We have seen also the media being attacked, and all this will give us a very unstable atmosphere, particularly as we move towards election.
Speaking in Kisii County, he cautioned the youth against being lured into political violence, insisting that their activities risk losing their lives after being targeted for fear that they could reveal the finances behind the unrest.
The church, and that's our urge to the youth, is desist from being used, shun from the little handout because it will not give you much. We have seen people being used and are dumped, or even followed to be killed in the name of concealing the information they already have. So young people, take care of yourselves, make sure that the environment you are operating, you become an instrument and an agent of peace by desisting from being lured into acts of lawlessness.
Politicians were called upon to embrace peace ahead of the general election, encouraging them to resolve political differences through constructive engagement rather than confrontation.
Minister of Interior and the IG and the DCI and those who are managing public order, please take over charge of public order and remove it from the hands of goons. Peace for businesses to thrive. Even whoever is looking for leadership, you don't want to lead a dispersed nation. You need to lead a nation that is cohesive and united, and you need to lead a nation that belongs to all of us. So my urge is, let us all be careful in the utterances. whether you are in the opposition or in government.
With political temperatures rising ahead of the elections, the clergy says dialogue, tolerance and responsible leadership remain key to preserving peace. Cynthia, KUTV.
In other news, opposition leaders, Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka, People's Liberation Party leader Martha Karua, former Chief Justice David Maraga and Siaya Governor James Orengo have strongly condemned the violence witnessed during the Linda Mwananchi campaign in Homa Bay. Speaking during a joint press conference, the leaders accused the government of allowing political intimidation and goonism to take root, warning that such incidents threaten Kenya's democratic space. They called for accountability for those behind the attacks, while urging security agencies to protect all political actors and Kenyans, regardless of their political affiliation. The leaders further warned that escalating violence could undermine the 2027 general election.
The protection of democracy cannot be left to citizens and political leaders alone. It is the responsibility of every Kenyan, every constitutional institution, and every member of the international community committed to democratic governance and the rule of law. We therefore call upon all Kenyans to reject political violence in every form, regardless of who perpetrates it or who claims to benefit from it.
Deputy President Kithure Kindiki has continued defending the government's universal health care agenda, dismissing what he described as misguided criticism of the Social Health Authority. Speaking on day 2 of the Kenya Health Summit, Kindiki said universal health care goes beyond financing, requiring investment in health workers, medical equipment, and essential commodities, strong institutions, alongside measures to curb the fraud.
Speaking at the culmination day of the 2-day health summit at the KICC, the Deputy President Kithure Kindiki used the platform for another time to defend government's health reforms.
Imefanyika haijafanyika.
Pushing back against criticism of the Social Health Authority as debate on universal health care takes the center stage.
But he promised the country that he will weather the storm, risk his popularity in the short term until we get this thing right, and his popularity will be back. Imefanyika haijafanyika. The noises that you used to hear that SHA is not working, whoever is criticizing SHA now is whispering.
While highlighting 5 pillars covering the framework, Kindiki said the universal health care should not be viewed solely through the lens of health financing, but a system that must work for both patients and healthcare providers. However, Kindiki admitted that the framework still needed to be worked on.
All of us, when we visit other countries or leaders of other countries visit us, they're asking us, how did you get to pull by now 32 million Kenyans on UHC and counting? Because we must up the game. I am advised that 75% plus is what becomes universal health coverage. We are almost there.
The Deputy President further pointed to the need for a strong legal and institutional framework to support health reforms, while calling on Kenya Medical Supplies Authority KEMSA to refine its community logistic systems with the aim of improving the distribution of medicine and other essential health products to counterattack fraud cases.
Universality of health care is a reality because of numbers, the number of Kenyans who have some form of medical cover, which may not be perfect, which is being perfected, which is being fine-tuned, but at least when they fall sick, they do not have to rely on quacks, magicians, sorcerers, and manipulative religious leaders, some of whom take advantage of sick people.
As the summit closes, the universal health care appears to not only depend on financing, but on whether the people, systems, equipment, and supplies needed to deliver care are in place. Brian Uma, KUTV.
Former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has escalated his criticism of President William Ruto's administration, questioning the performance of the Social Health Authority (SHA) and the government's readiness to deliver the 2027 general elections. Gachagua has also alleged that the president and senior government officials are facilitating political goonism to create instability that could be used to undermine or delay the electoral process. The former deputy president's remarks comes against the backdrop of a sermon by the National Cohesion and Integration Commission (NCIC) over allegedly incendiary and insightful utterances he made at various political rallies.
With President William Ruto maintaining that the Social Health Authority (SHA) is steadily finding its footing, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has taken a contrary view. Gachagua has dismissed the government's optimism, contending that SHA has instead become a source of frustration for many Kenyans, arguing that the scheme's reported shortcomings tell a different story from the administration's claim of progress. While addressing Laikipia County aspirants at his Wamunyoro residence, Gachagua faulted the SHA and instead praised the former National Hospital Insurance Fund (NHIF) as a better health cover.
Nikuje hapa sasa karibu 60 days. Every delegation imekuja hapa. Malalamishi is that SHA is not working. Watu wanalia, NHIF was much better.
Gachagua further accused President William Ruto and Health Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale of allegedly squandering SHA funds and claimed that the two own a 2% stake in the SHA health scheme.
Now, NHIF ilitaka marekebisho ya 800 million peke yake isaidie wa Kenya. Huyu Kasongo akafanya corruption, akaondoa NHIF, akalete SHA, ikalipwa 104 billion. Hiyo system ni ya 800 million. Kasongo na watu yake Duale na wengine wakaiba 103 billion 200 million. Ndio hii pesa anazunguka naye hapa kuhonga watu.
Consequently, Gachagua accused the first in command, Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen and PS Raymond Omolo of allegedly using political goons to create conditions for a possible delay of the 2027 general polls.
Hii vita yote analete ya wahuni akitumia Murkomen na Raymond Omolo. Anataka kususha ghasia ndio uchaguzi yairishwe for 2 years aendelee kwa kiti because amejua anaenda nyumbani. All these goonisms you are seeing, there are 104 gangs. They are being funded by Murkomen and Omolo to cause chaos in the country so that they can postpone the general election. And that is why umeona huyu chairman anaitwa Ethical ni mtu ya Ruto akisema ati kama iko shida uchaguzi hawezi fanyika.
The ousted DP has since defended himself against the National Cohesion and Integration Commission (NCIC), claiming his remarks about barring President William Ruto's agents from his area were misunderstood. Vincent Karoli, KUTV.
Meanwhile, as their tenures come to an end, Auditor General Nancy Gathugu has cautioned governors across the county against leaving pending bills as they exit office. She highlighted that the issue was a perennial problem and that many county bosses had the habit of leaving liabilities to their predecessors.
So, Your Excellency, I hope you're not planning to leave any liabilities for the incoming governor because you have declared that it is end of your term, you're exiting, so somebody else will come in. Will they find your liabilities outstanding? And I'm going to challenge all the county assemblies, indeed I'm going to do a communication, is that they must clear all the audit backlogs.
Former Machakos Governor Alfred Mutua has criticized current Governor Wavinya Ndeti over what he describes as a neglect of development projects initiated under his tenure. Speaking in Machakos after visiting Machakos Level 5 Hospital and Machakos People's Park, Mutua claimed the county has regressed in development, urging leaders to continue projects inherited from various administrations.
Former Machakos Governor Alfred Mutua has criticized the current Governor Wavinya Ndeti over what he describes as neglect of development project initiated during his tenure.
It's the story of African, what we used to call African leadership. Unakuta ya kwamba kiongozi anaingia, ile ilikuwa hapo inasambaratika. It is about ability to have development.
Speaking in Machakos after visiting Machakos Level 5 Hospital and Machakos People's Park, Mutua said leaders should not abandon projects upon taking office, especially those that have already consumed millions of shillings in public funds.
You don't have to build something new, but at least maintain what you find. You don't have to build something new. Kama uwezi kujenga mpya, uwezi jenga barabara mpya, uwezi chimba maji mpya, uwezi fanya kazi mpya, at the very least, chunga ile umeikuta.
The former governor cited Machakos Level 5 Hospital and Machakos People's Park among projects that, according to him, contributed to giving Machakos County a distinctive national image.
It's quite unfortunate because kuna leadership na wote leadership wale wakubwa wako chama moja. Na sasa ndio tunasema kweli lazima maendeleo chap irudi hapa iokoe watu wa Machakos na watu wa Ukambani, kwa sababu ikiendelea hivi ile chama iko hapa sasa ni chama tu ya kutafuta viti, but there is no work on the ground.
Residents have expressed disappointments over the style development projects, saying they have been left incomplete. They are urging the county government to revive the projects and prioritize service delivery.
Back then we had not seen such a thing because we had not in Ukambani had such an experience. Yeah, later on I met Machakos People's Park at Dubai, but again we cannot find the Dubai. We don't have the Dubai here in Ukambani.
The debate has also renewed questions among Machakos residents over the county's development record and whether successive administration are doing enough to preserve and expand projects inherited from previous leaders. Yvonne Shirisha, KUTV.
Now, at that point, you're taking our very first commercial break. We'll be back with more.
Conversations on matters health are important for you. From the nitty-gritties of what it takes to take care of yourself on a daily basis to the policies that affect your well-being at a national level, we have all these conversations on one show.
In terms of the nose, we deal with the allergies, we deal with sinuses, and even nosebleeding. Simple things and also big things as well.
Make our homes safe spaces where children are able to talk, feel validated without being judged, because the young people want to be heard.
Every Thursday, 7:30 p.m., join me, Yvonne Kemuma, on Focus on Health to keep you abreast of these conversations right here on KUTV.
Welcome back. A day after announcing his decision to join the People's Party and the party being given the monarch wheelbarrow by some opposition leaders, Kiharu Member of Parliament Ndindi Nyoro has signaled his readiness to work with other opposition leaders in a bid to ensure President William Ruto serves only one term. Addressing residents of Kiharu during a tour to popularize the party, Nyoro said the opposition will work to field a single candidate to challenge President Ruto in the next general election. He also insisted that his party has no room for those who promote hatred, insults and division. Nyoro now plays to intensify his engagement with residents as he seeks to popularize the People's Party ahead of the 2027 general election.
Mimi niliona juzi viongozi wa ile wheelbarrow ati wakati niliongea kwa sababu wanataka kuonyesha walikosana na viongozi wengine kwa upinzani, ati wanaanza kuniambia congratulations. Mimi nataka niseme hivi, kama Dede Nyoro, kama wewe uko katika wheelbarrow, uko katika hii serikali sasa, na wewe kazi yako imekuwa ni ya kutukana viongozi, kama wewe umetukana Mheshimiwa Rigathi Gachagua, People's Party haina nafasi yako. Eda musikizane na yeye.
In other news, Cabinet Secretary for Public Service Geoffrey Ruku has downplayed the political influence of Kiharu Member of Parliament Ndindi Nyoro's newly launched People's Party of Kenya, saying the party may have limited capacity to shape Mount Kenya's political direction ahead of the 2027 general election. Speaking during Huduma Mashinani Day in Konoin constituency, Bomet County, Ruku said the existence of numerous political parties would not necessarily determine voting patterns. He maintained that the political dynamics that favored President William Ruto in 2022 could again work in his favor 2027.
Ndindi Nyoro atakitengeneza chama leo, afuje atengeneza ingine kesho, ingie kwa upinzani, haituhusu chochote. Kwa hiyo mlima kuna vyama mingi zaidi ya 20. Hata hiyo wakati ya 2022 kulikuwa na vyama mingi. Kwa hivyo tunajua utengeneze chama, uite vile utaita, haituhusu chochote. Sisi tunashikilia Mheshimiwa William Ruto na serikali yake kuanzia sai mpaka 2032.
We want to tell you, we know you, tunawajua. Yule mungwana anaitwa Ndindi Nyoro wakati alikuwa chairman wa budget, alichukua pesa ya shule yote akapeleka kwao. Alichukua pesa ya barabara yote akapeleka kwao. Alafu saa hizi ndio anakuja ana lecture William Ruto na kizungu mingi na kuja sijui na chama gani. Sisi we want to tell you, hata ukija na chama inaitwa Heaven's Democratic Party of Kenya, William Ruto ndio rais 2027.
Elsewhere, hundreds of grade 10 and Form 1 students who have benefited from the Jomo Kenyatta Foundation Education Scholarship Program have been urged to avoid drug abuse and peer pressure, which could jeopardize their education and future. The JKF beneficiaries have been encouraged to set goals, build good character, and seek help whenever they encounter challenges.
The Jomo Kenyatta Foundation has called on hundreds of grade 10 and Form 1 scholarship beneficiaries to remain focused on their education and future. The foundation warned students against drug abuse and peer pressure, urging them to set clear goals, build a good character, and seek guidance when facing challenges that could derail the academic journey.
Education is really good, but education without reputation or education without good morals is incomplete. That your character will open doors that even certificates will not open.
The Garissa County coordinator of the foundation, Nelson Olo, urged the students to stay away from drug abuse and peer groups that could lead them astray.
Summit themed From Potential to Purpose, Inspiring Excellence, Leadership and Impact is designed to go beyond academic support. Through mentorship interaction with facilitators, we are equipping our scholars with skills in academic excellence, career development, leadership skills, character formation, resilience, goal setting, responsible decision making, and personal responsibility.
Olo said the program aims to equip students with the skills to excel academically, develop leadership qualities, build good character, resilience, set goals, and make decisions that can help them build a better future. Meanwhile, the chairman of the Supreme Council of Kenya Muslims, SUPKEM, Sheikh Hassan Abdi, said drug abuse is a major major challenge in the northeastern region. He urged the students to be agents of change by staying away from drugs, emphasizing that drug abuse goes against Islamic religious values.
Mtume alisema nini hivyo? Kitu ambaye inabadilisha tabia yako mzuri, akili yako, ni haramu ya drugs. So tafadhalini vijana wetu, mkuwa role model. Kijana mzuri, msichana mzuri, mutii amri ya Mwenyezi Mungu Subhanahu wa Ta'ala.
Students have been encouraged to seek guidance and support whenever they face pressure, rather than turning to drug abuse.
Grief engulfed Magagani village in Malindi, and as detectives exhumed the body of a 50-year-old woman that was allegedly murdered and secretly buried by her son, the suspect arrested on Saturday had been living with his mother, who neighbors say had long complained of abuse before her disappearance.
Detectives have exhumed the body of a 32-year-old woman in Maganga village, Malindi, allegedly murdered and buried by her son. The suspect was arrested on Saturday after the family reported her missing. The body has been taken to Malindi Sub-County Hospital for post-mortem examination, after which the suspect is expected to be arraigned in court. Malindi Sub-County Police Commander Moses Kosgei says detectives found clothes scattered near the suspect's house during investigations. Their search to the discovery of a shallow grave nearby, raising suspicion that the missing woman had been buried there, leaving the son to be the prime suspect.
Wakati fika huko tukapata sasa kuna kaburi ilikuwa imechimbwa karibu na hapo, that we suspect a foul play. Mshukiwa mwenyewe ndio kijana wa mama, aitwa Tumaini Masha Jali, 2 years by age. Tukachukua yeye na tukachukua kwa seli yetu.
The Sub-County Criminal Investigation Officer Walter Mwarunga said the suspect will be arraigned once the post-mortem is conducted to confirm the cause of death for the justice to be served.
It's true that there is an incident where a woman was reported lost, and then of the part of investigation, the investigation is active. We have opened a file, and since that the body has been exhumed, it's an active file of a murder case. We are intending to do post-mortem, which will confirm the actual cause of the death, and then thereafter the boy will be charged in court so that justice can be found for the deceased.
Penina Damakenga, the deceased sister-in-law, recounted that on the fateful night, she had screams from the children. When she rushed to the scene, she was told their mother was missing and shown blood stains.
Nilisikia nduru nikiwa kwangu kwa sababu si mbali na hapa. Kukimbia, nikaja nikapata hao watoto wanasema shangazi, mama hatumpati na tumeona kitu. Wakanionyesha, nikaona, nikasema basi hii si hali nzuri. Na wale familia yao pia wakaja, tukashikana, tukaambia tupeleke hii kitu polisi ndio waweze kuchukua hiyo kazi yao waendelee.
Police say the postmortem will determine the exact cause of the death as the suspect remains in custody awaiting arraignment. Vivian Anyango, KUTV.
North Kadem MCA Samson Obonyo has raised alarm over alleged misuse of county emergency relief funds that were meant for expected September-October rains. He said the meteorological department issued an alert on potential El Nino rains, warning flood-prone areas like Nyatike sub-county to prepare. Obonyo claims Migori County allocated 44.2 million shillings for readiness, yet the store is nearly empty. He alleges the supplies were sent to churches, mainly SDA, for camp meetings despite not declared emergencies there. He now calls on investigations to clarify the distribution for the missing stock.
This is a perennial problem that we've lived with for a very long time. So we projected that, and we had allocated 44,200,000 in readiness for such eventualities. Now, we have received very disturbing news that the county government of Migori, through the Department of Environment, where these monies were located for such disaster, that they bought a number of non-food stuff and also food stuff.
The Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission has intensified its nationwide campaign against corruption, with the agency reporting billions of shillings in public resources saved through asset recovery and preventive interventions. Speaking during a public engagement forum in Mombasa, EACC officials outlined measures to strengthen institutional systems, seal corruption loopholes, and mobilize citizens to safeguard public resources.
Recover corruptly acquired assets worth 3.6 billion. But if you check over 10 years or thereabout, we have recovered assets over 30 billion in this country. We have a lot of cases in court on unexplained wealth and recoveries, over 400 billion. We have also disrupted through covert means stealing of public funds, averting the loss, again over 40 billion.
Newly affected officials of the Dock Workers Union of Kenya we will get slight of that story in a bit. It's Fedi, haionekani.
Account. We have 3 accounts, Bandari, we have APSA and Housing Finance. So I'm giving that instruction as General Secretary. Maybe by tomorrow we start auditing all the accounts, ili tujue kuna nini iko ndani na kuna nini hakuna. Kwa sababu Bandari Sacco tumeona pesa yote ilichukuliwa. Kuna loans zilichukuliwa almost 80 million, na tukiangalia breakdowns hatujui imeenda vipi.
Now, construction of Talanta Stadium is now 92% complete, according to Sports Cabinet Secretary Salim Vuria. Speaking to or during an inspection of the stadium in Nairobi today, Vuria said Kenya is doing everything possible to ensure the facility is completed on time and meets international standards ahead of the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations.
Just about 10 months to go before the Africa Cup of Nations kicks off next year, Kenya is stepping up efforts to complete the Talanta International Stadium, also known as the Raila Amolo Odinga Stadium. According to Sports Cabinet Secretary Salim Vuria, construction of the stadium has so far reached 92% completion.
Mkubwa kutakuwa na haja ya kuwa na stima ya kutosha. Kwa hivyo tuna kituo ambayo inajengwa upande huu ili kuhakikisha kwamba hapa haitakuwa shida. Mambo ya maji tayari imeshasuluhishwa, imewekwa hapa, na mabarabara inaendelea, mengine yashapimwa, masorovea wameangalia na wahandisi ili kuona vile tutaweza kuwa na mizunguko.
The remaining work includes the installation of lighting, development of training pitches, and completion of other supporting infrastructure in line with requirements and standards of the Confederation of Africa Football CAF.
You said it's long, we haven't met. So it's a pleasure meeting you again. Away from infrastructure preparation, we also have a separate plan to prepare the team. You know, there's no need of hosting, then you lose. So we will also have a roadmap to prepare Harambee Stars and we'll be rallying all Kenyans, both in the public and the private sector, to support our team and to profile our team before AFCON, within AFCON, and also after AFCON. So
Mvurya says he is confident that the stadium will be completed on time, supporting Kenya's preparations for the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations. The government says regular monitoring, together with technical consultations with CAF, will help ensure the facility meets the required international standards before the tournament kicks off.
Now, thank you so much for keeping it here with us on KUTV News at 9. It had been a pleasure informing you on what has been happening in the country and beyond. Many thanks to everyone that has made this bulletin a success, from those on the camera, TX, my director and producer. With me has been Mutava Mongeli. My name is Ochieng Cynthia. Have a lovely night.